Warning! We are about to spoil the anime Monster Musume. If you haven't seen the show and plan on watching it, leave now and come back later. But if you have seen it, or you just don't care, then please stick around.
Quick, Justin, say all the obvious jokes.
We're watching for the plot, something about an innuendo, and what's the deal with Mia's food?
Hey!
Hello, this is Justin from the future. We are covering a sexual comedy anime today, and that means there's going to be a joke or a few about sexual assault within the show, and we do bring it up during the episode that these happen. Now, some may wonder, like, okay, it's just some jokes in the show, why even mention them if it makes you uncomfortable or if you don't find them funny? Yeah, that's fair, but also, we're a podcast that covers good TV and good movies most of the time, so we're kind of recommending these things, and feel really disingenuous not to bring those things up. There are people who cannot handle it. Like, I don't mean that in a negative way, they just don't need to see that shit, and they don't want to. So, we give fair warning every time. Or try to, at least. So, if joking about sexual assault is something you really don't want to hear, and I understand, sorry, hope you have a happy new year, and we'll see you in February when we're back. For the rest of you, hope you enjoy the episode. We'll give you the same greetings, and we'll talk about how we're doing Die Hard first thing in February, and Die Hard 2. But for those of you leaving with us now, hope you have a happy new year. Anyway, on with the episode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. I must say, just a little fourth wall thing here, I guess more of a behind the scenes thing. I think that's the quickest we've actually gotten to me saying, hello, everybody, welcome to Cinema Roulette, because we're only like 3 minutes into the recording.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so there's not a lot to cut out, thankfully.
Didn't fuck up the spoiler warning,
Yep.
Had an opening joke ready.
Pumped that out. Yep, didn't take us an entire test to think of an opening joke. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, I don't want to do the episode anymore, so just end it here.
Banter noises and stuff.
Okay, I guess we can banter. It is the end of the year.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I love the fact that this is the final episode of the year.
And the 150th episode.
150th. It's like a milestone in multiple ways, and it's for a show that's completely shameless, but so much fun. Like, Jesus Christ.
I hope you all enjoyed the Gun Driver episode. If you haven't listened to that one, do it. It's good, I think. I don't know. We haven't recorded it yet, actually.
Yeah. We kind of do that sometimes. Most of the
A
time.
lot. We
All the time.
mention it a lot.
Yeah. So, we hope that turned out good. I was going to say, it's just kind of weird, because for them, it already came out. But for us, we still have yet to record it.
Yeah, that's how time works.
God, that's weird.
And think about this. They're going to be listening to movie episodes probably until June that we record between December and January.
Oh my God, you're right. Holy shit. But yeah.
Anyway, we're here for our last TV episode of the year. And last episode of the year.
This was one that Justin had seen previously, and I had not.
Yep, I watched this in a high school cafeteria, which if you've seen the show, you may have a few questions. No, I did not get caught, and I watched it with friends.
Yep, there you go.
Anyway, we're talking about Monster Musume, or Everyday Life with Monster Girl. We went quiet.
Yay!
Uh,
We went quiet, unlike Darling's household. Like, Jesus Christ. That
hey,
must
it
be...
gets quiet sometimes.
Yes, probably. I was gonna say, I don't know if, like... And actually, that begs the question in this world, too. I know this is kind of for later, but, like, I wonder if the nocturnal animals actually are nocturnal and they can't sleep during, like, the night. They have to be awake during the night.
Probably.
Yeah, that's interesting to think about. But yeah. And, yeah, so it might... I hope that... This may be obvious to some people, but if you're unfamiliar with this show, it's heavily sexualized. This is not a show that you should watch, like, if your parents are in the room, basically.
No, show your parents. Don't be a coward.
There's actually a really funny thing is, there was one time, because how many days did it take us to actually watch the series? Like 2 or 3?
How many days did it take us to watch what?
The series itself, was it 2 or 3?
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
There was some time we went to watch it. I grabbed the Blu-ray and I went out and I was about to watch it. And I just go, "Oh, hi, Dad. How are you?" And you were on Discord and I could hear you kind of like snickering over the phone. He was down there because my parents are watching something upstairs and they were being too loud or something. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll wait then.
Just toss the Blu-ray behind you like, oh, hi!
Oh, well, about that. What's behind me? Nothing. Don't worry about it.
I just realized something.
What's that?
Well, okay, so, for my college that I'm still doing, for viewers at home, we did a short, well, we had to shoot a scene from a movie. I did a scene from Black Swan. And my group members that were there, we got talking. I mentioned jokingly how I did a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And they might be listening now. So,
All right. I'm down for that.
so now they get to hear me talking about this show, which
Yep.
if they've already Googled what it is, yep.
That's fine.
This is fine. But we should actually get into what the fucking show is.
Yep, and Justin is the one who took notes, so I will let him take it away.
Because Cameron doesn't know how to actually write. It's true.
Excuse me, it's not true. I know how to write. I'm just not very good at it. I'm that's the funniest thing is I'm fantastic with English and all that. That was always one of my favorite subjects, but actually writing things out, my handwriting looks like absolute dog shit.
The only thing that matters in podcast note taking is that you can read your own notes, which is a big problem for me.
I guess that is fair.
But okay. So this doesn't really get a straightforward plot till near the end, so we'll just go over premise real quick.
Yeah.
In our world of 2015, I think the show came out.
Something like that.
Turns out the government has been hiding monster people for decades, and now we're trying to slowly integrate them into society. The main way is, at least in Japan, to have them live in basically a foster home. It's like, you live here. If things go well, we'll let more people come over to the human places. You'll be more accepted into society, blah, 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 blah.
The anime came out in 2015.
Boom, I was right.
Yep, good job.
And we have our main character of Darling. They do say his name, but everyone calls him either Darling, Master, or Honey.
Yep.
And Darling was given a snake woman by mistake named Mia. But we're just going to let her stay there because she's happy about it.
Yeah, and we should also mention, I think, too, before getting into the actual plot stuff as well, there are rules for these monsters.
I was going to get to the rules, you motherfucker.
Were you? I didn't know, sorry.
God damn it.
Oh, hi! You didn't hear any of that, audience, right?
Yeah, they did, because I'm editing this. Staying, bitch.
Fuck.
No easy segues here.
Damn it.
We only make segues when we say, wow, that's a good segue, which basically ruins the segue.
Or we just say fuck it and just go, segues are hard.
It's true. The reason Darling has this mistake happen to him is because of Miss Smith, who works with the organization that is helping with all this monster trouble. And he has some ground rules. No sex. That is the main thing. Hopefully, this is a normal, dramatic anime with nothing funny about this no sex idea. Also, monster can't hurt humans, humans can't hurt the monster.
Uh-huh.
And also a bunch of other rules that come up like once and then disappear.
Yeah, I don't remember them, honestly.
Don't either. But those are the main ones. Oh, also, well, this happens a bit later. We'll get into some other people who show up, because why would Darling only have to deal with one monster girl when
Yes.
the show is called Everyday Life with Monster Girls?
See, it's plural.
We got Poppy, she's a harpy.
Mhm.
We also have Soraya, who is a centaur, voiced by Molly Cersei, a very nice voice actress, who, if you can meet her at a con, do so.
Yes, we did that. She was like one of the most wholesome people ever, so.
We met her by accident.
Yeah, just thought she was for a completely different thing, but turns out she wasn't, and we're glad that we did, so.
I mean, I would have liked to. I'm sure the other voice actress we were going to meet was nice, but I'm just happy I didn't bring up the show she wasn't in.
yeah, that would have been a little awkward, so.
After just these other two are introduced, Miss Smith makes some trouble in the house by basically saying, well, we're looking into starting up marriage with people and monsters, so having one person test out would be nice. Just Darling would have to choose someone.
Yep.
Also, of course, everyone Darling hot as hell, which he kind of is.
Now you might say, oh, easy answer, polygamy. That's like super illegal in Japan. Like,
It's super illegal in Japan. You will be thrown in jail for, I think it's almost 10 or 20 years.
Yeah, it's a ludicrously harsh sentence.
It's very harsh. But luckily, with this whole marriage thing, he only has to choose between three people. Oh no, there's more. Suddenly, Sue appears. Sue is a slime girl. And slime girls are also illegal, but Miss Smith just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Miss Smith is really bad at her job.
That is one of the running jokes in the series. She's not only bad at her job, but she's very lazy as well. And tries to avoid work whenever she can.
We also get another girl who is a mermaid named Marrow. But Marrow isn't really much of a problem because she just wants to be cucked.
Yeah, like she has this whole thing about like tragic stories. It's like, I just want to be the person that gets cucked. Like, I don't want to be the person that the prince runs away with. No, like, getting cucked, that's hot as hell to her.
Yeah, she wants the master to get with someone else and then leave her behind tragically.
Yeah, that is like her one goal in life.
Then we got a giant spider woman. Her name is Aknera.
I think you got that right, yeah.
I wrote it down, so I better.
Nice.
Oh, then we actually get to plot stuff for the last, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes of the show that aren't the OVAs.
Yeah.
We will cover the OVAs as well, don't worry.
It's okay, guys, it's okay.
But it turns out someone is sending threatening notes to Darling. And he goes on dates with everyone to try and draw the person out, while also kind of trying to decide who to marry. We even date the police squad. It turns out Miss Smith has a squad, I guess?
Yeah, I was gonna say squad's the right choice.
Yeah, squad is good for police. But a squad of monster girls, one's a zombie, one's a cyclops, one is a shapeshifter, and
The other's an ogre.
Ogre, yeah. Which just means you have a horn on your head and are big.
Yeah, and are big, strong.
Big, strong. Not even green, which is odd.
I know.
But maybe that's more of like a classic interpretation of ogres.
Yeah.
Don't know. But he even goes on a date with all of them. And it turns out, Miss Smith made this up. It was literally just a trick to try and get him closer to all the girls, or at least to one of them to marry, and he got closer to literally all of them.
Yeah. And of course there's a couple red herrings along the way, like, oh, it might be this person, but nah, it was all a ruse.
But then they're like, well, okay, then who sent the second note?
Yeah.
No one sent the second note. Turns out Darling is marked for death by a Doulahan, apparently.
Yep.
He almost gets killed, then doesn't get killed, and now the Doulahan lives with them. In case you don't know what Doulahan is, it's a headless rider, basically. Like, they ride around in a chariot without their head.
You'll have to say their name again. It cut you off super hard when you went.
Lala is her name.
Yeah, you just said, and her name is Silence.
Silence. I guess I lost my head there.
Okay.
Tons.
You almost went for kind of like a Sonic thing there, like. Huh?
Whoa. Chili cheese dog. Whoa.
It's actually not half bad. Actually, I'm pretty impressed with that. Right, I can tell your throat liked it.
The show kind of just. The technical end of the show is just kind of that. Is Lala lives with them now and isn't going to kill him.
Yeah, it's just that's it.
Then we have 2 OVA episodes. One was about going to a gym so all the girls will stop getting fatter, because Miss Smith is like, if you guys get overweight, I'll deport you. Fuck.
It's like rude.
First off, rude. And then we find out, because Ragna, I said it right before, but now I'm saying it wrong. Ragna. We find, because the way we found Ragna is she was actually owned by a creeper who came and tried to shoot basically a pervy video of all the girls in the, but they figured out that's what he was doing, smashed his camera, and Ragna was living with him. She, I'm pretty sure, murders him. Like, we never see him again and never hear he was okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain she straight up murdered him, because she puts him in a cocoon with like his arm, just his arm and legs sticking out. But yeah, he's dead, and the police are onto her after that. So,
and she goes after Darling, who she calls Honey.
Yes.
Yeah, the Spire has a BDSM kink.
Yeah, that's, because of,
that's the joke.
Yep.
But the reason, and then things work out. She moves in with them, but the reason she was with the weird perv dude is because her original adoptive family sold her. Or like traded off possession, because
there is a technical term for it, but I forget what exactly it is. What they did.
I was trying to think of a joke. I got nothing here.
No, well, okay.
And the last OVA episode, we find out that the whole reason she had to leave that family is because due to falling, she scratched their kid, and they were like, "Okay, that's enough. Get the fuck out."
Yeah.
And the little girl comes over to the house and is trying to get her back, but Darling is like, you literally only want her because you see her as a problem you can fix, which is not that's not treating someone like a person.
Yeah, she was like, I think he was like a challenge or something. Like, you just see her as a challenge that needs to be met, and that's not how people should look at it. And
that's not how you treat people, so get out.
Yeah,
and that's how the show ends.
Yep. And I kind of love, I love Darling's delivery. I just found it hilarious. They're like, so, are you going to sign the papers? Absolutely not.
Yeah. Also, there was a bunch of shorts on the Blu-ray, but this was part of a web series that would play as the show was airing, and you could only watch these 30-second shorts once a day. Like, you'd have that 24 hours to watch it and then be gone forever. Well, not forever, it's on Blu-ray. But nothing really happens to them. Yeah. It's just some jokes, some little moments. Sometimes you only hear the voices.
It is like, you could tell that they really didn't have a budget for it, because there are times where it's just a static shot of like a door frame or something, and just the characters talking in another room or in the background, and you hear the funny thing going on, but you don't see it.
Yeah, it's kind of lame, honestly. We also had a heart attack with it because there's 60 of them.
Yeah, 60 shorts.
And we noticed this on the Blu-ray, and each one is like paired off into different groups of 6. So 1 through 6, 7 through 12, that type deal. And I clicked on them and or watching it. I'm using my Xbox One as a Blu-ray player. Checked the time code. I was like, oh, that's 30 minutes just for the first 6. Went to the next ones. that's another 30 minutes. And we thought it was going to be like 5 hours of shorts. No.
No, it turns out how the menu is set up, that is if you hit it on the menu, it's still the same 34-minute thing. It just skips to the time code of that.
Yeah, it's basically a scene selection.
Yeah, it's odd.
Yeah, so we literally just watched that. Now we're recording the episode. Now we're done with the summary because that's the show. It's a comedy anime. There isn't much here.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of plot. Like it's all played up for laughs, and the little plot that there is yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, it literally is like only 4 episodes at the end. So
So where do we start?
that's a very good question. I don't know, like, what is a good starting point, because there's stuff to talk about. I kind of don't know where. My thoughts are kind of just jumbled, and I don't know where to begin.
I'm wondering if to mention the downside of the show and something that I could admit people not being able to look past.
The uncensored version?
Well, besides that, okay, I should say the uncensored version, because originally it aired, and with anything that is titties, it would, do the usual animation thing of finding clever ways to cover it up, like bubbles or someone's hands in the way, that type of deal.
Or it would just be a boob without a nipple.
Or boobs without nipples. I think it was like a lens flare or something would censor it rather than just a boob without a nipple.
That's good, at least.
But then there's the uncensored version, which is the only version on the Blu-ray where nipples, they're poking through shirts. They're just flailed right at the screen.
Which there's nothing wrong with. That's fine, but when you're trying to have a serious scene...
Yeah, there's a moment in the first episode where Mia and Darling are out, and 2 people are just being very speciesist, I guess would be the proper term.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to hide in a love hotel just to kind of calm down. And Mia's trying to have a heart-to-heart, like, will humans ever accept me? But as she's saying this, she's wearing a shirt where you see her nipples very prominent.
Yeah. It's a little distracting.
It's like, hey, if you're going to have a serious moment, chill for a second.
Honestly.
You have time for TNA, don't worry.
Yeah. And again, we're not prudes. We don't care about that kind of stuff. Boobs, great, whatever. But like when you're trying to have a serious moment, it just doesn't work.
It's just weird. I'm not holding against the show, because before getting into the other problem that other people could have too, this show knows exactly what it fucking is, and it just owns it.
Yeah. It knows that it's a completely shameless sex comedy and just rolls with it. It's pretty great because of that, honestly.
It knows it's a sex comedy. It's going to have fun with it. It goes as over the top as it can.
Mm-hmm.
It's just having a good time.
It is.
Now, what would make it a better time is if one of the jokes wasn't technically sexual assault a lot.
We talking about Sue?
We're talking about Sue. Also, technically, Ragnaria.
I guess so. Like, then to be fair, she more just ties people up, I guess, but, like...
Okay, with the way she was dealing with the Dullahan's body?
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but...
Like, it's a usual joke in anime, and I don't like saying that because that feels gross.
It does, yeah, it's... Ugh.
I'm trying to think of how to talk about this, because it is something that... It's like a main part of the show. You kind of have to mention it, but also it's like... It's not defendable by any means.
It's really not. I guess the best thing to say would just be warned that it is in fact there, and it's unfortunate that it's there. Thankfully, it doesn't overstay its welcome, I don't think. I don't think it's, like, too much. There was only, like, 1 or 2 scenes that I can remember where I was just like, okay, this is not...
like, where Sue literally deflowers everyone.
Like, on the street, yeah. That scene was a little... It takes it a bit too far sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, that is the one big downside of the show, and I understand if someone said, like, hey, that's not fucking funny. It's like, yeah that's fair.
Yeah.
That's 100% fair.
No, exactly.
I feel like that was important to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's like because we're going to acknowledge it. We kind of have to acknowledge it. So it's not like exploitive or disgusting or anything like in Lone Wolf and Cub 3, but it's the thing that sucks about it is there is kind of no purpose to it.
Well, there is purpose to it, but it's the worst possible reason.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, it's really not. Sorry, show.
I guess that's not the worst possible reason. But the second worst.
Yeah.
Well, look at you, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, looking right at you, Lone Wolf. Ugh. Part of me, just as a side note, part of me wishes that we had gotten to that movie before the fuck no list, because we would have been like, for the shocking movies like Serbian film or whatever, we've been like, how you were talking in Lone Wolf and Cub 3. Do you want a whole episode of that? Does that sound fun to you? Doesn't sound fun to me.
I think we even mentioned that in the episode. It's like, this is why we're not doing types of films.
Yeah. No. Fuck that. Anyway,
Anywho.
Moving on from that.
Moving on, back to the actual fun of the show.
Yes.
Nah, just end the episode. That's all we need to say.
Oh
I don't know why that's my go-to joke for today.
I can tell.
I guess we can stick with the comedy.
Yeah, comedy's great. It knows exactly what it is, and the way it plays it up is great. It's a mix of both in like physical humor and all that, and slapstick, and just innuendos. Like,
and actually, they work the slapstick into the plot because Darling gets the shit kicked out of him.
He does. There's several points where I'm like, he should have been like dead from that.
And Lala thinks the same.
Clearly, yep.
She had apparently been watching this whole time and is like, this man has survived too much. He is on my death list and I should kill him.
That is fucking hilarious that that is worked into the plot. Like, they heavily acknowledge that a lot of this could have killed a normal human being.
This man should be several types of fucking dead.
Yep. And that's fucking hilarious. Like, it's shit like that just makes it so funny.
And I like that it plays that up a lot more. Like, yes, there is a lot of sex jokes and innuendos, which do work a lot in a very screwball comedy type way.
Yes, there are a couple points I think where you said like, the screwball comedy directors would be happy with you, show.
I think there's one, I forget which episode it was in, but they show like 6 quick cutaways to innuendos of sex.
Yeah, it's great. And another funny thing about that too is sometimes when they cut away to that, there is text actually explaining it because they knew sometimes it wouldn't translate over to other cultures.
Yeah,
like the one in the OVA where it's like this, like the jiggling Moki or whatever, and it's like, this is a symbol for jealousy.
I always love those where it's like, oh, you stupid fucking Americans, guess what this means?
Or what was the fucking one where it was, they were like describing what was going on and they're like, no, don't use such graphic words, and it's literally graphics or something like that. I'm like, are you kidding me, show?
But yeah, besides those, like, the physical comedy has such good weight and impact to it that makes it way more funny.
Yeah, it's great. It's so over the top. Like, yeah, they play it up for laughs, and it works so well. And it's great. What?
They found that right balance between keeping the characters cartoony and stretchy, but also solid enough to really feel every hit Darling takes.
Yes, absolutely. Like they make it look like he gets hurt. He gets fucked up at points.
Just eats it.
That, it's like, it's great because all the characters are very, very different, but they what is it like, I guess it's just unique. They're all unique. Because in some animes it's easy to to lose track, but it also helps, I think, too, that they're animals too, so you can tell, oh, that's the horse. Even if you forget your names, it's like, that's the horse, that's the snake, that's the slime.
That's the mermaid.
Yep.
I do love the fact that Sue's powers are just whatever the show needs today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you can talk about that for a little bit, how her powers are basically written on the spot.
Sue can read minds now. Sue can transform into literally anyone. Sue is able to grow to the size of a monster and have a fight with a tree monster.
Yep.
Reasons.
Because reasons.
Sue can't stand being in water. Sue is now in the bathtub.
Yep.
Whatever
It
you
just-
really need.
It wildly changes from episode to episode. Yeah, it's kind of hilarious.
It's very much a Mystery Science Theater 3000. Just sit back and relax. There's no need for questions at this point.
It really is. Yeah, this is a good show to just like turn your brain off to and enjoy the ride, because if you start asking too many questions like me and Justin did at one point, then it'll be like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
Is that how that would work?
And then you realize we're probably putting more thought into it than the show creators were.
You know what? Maybe the show where the snake has a human vagina, I shouldn't ask too many scientific questions.
Honestly. And like her panties aren't even panties, it's just like a little triangle plate that goes over her vagoo. It's like literally.
You know what? I'm very tempted because when uploading an episode, I have the option of marking it explicit or not, and I always mark explicit.
Yes.
I'm very tempted to not mark this one as explicit just to see what happens.
I'd say go for it.
The only episode on the list that is not explicit is
Yeah.
Monster Musume,
Yeah.
which anyone who knows the show is like, you're lying.
It's kind of like how for the trailer for Hug the Sun, they had it marked as for kids, and it wasn't changed for the longest time.
Oh man, that's just YouTube being bad.
I know.
Actually, going back to the comedy a bit,
Mm-hmm.
I do love how they change animation style for jokes.
Yeah.
That's just fun. That adds to the joke. It's so much funnier. The same way it's scary in Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes, exactly. Like, that was the thing. Like, if you... I forget who said it, but it's like, if you want to scare someone, just change up the animation style.
I think that was the creator of Courage.
Yeah. That would make sense. Because, like, Courage
But yeah,
had all sorts of stuff. CG, claymation, like, stuff like that.
Whenever claymation is mentioned, I think of the fucking woman brushing her hair jump scare. I
Oh,
hate that. That
was the
lives in my
worst.
fucking brain.
Yep, I think that lived in everyone's brain who watched that when it first aired.
Oh, it's such a creepy scene.
Oh, it's so good. It's so creepy.
Also, just a lot of odd references. I mean, okay, some are anime references, like a JoJo reference,
Yeah.
sure, whatever. But there's a Metal Gear Solid reference in an episode.
Yeah, I would say there's one episode that has several Metal Gear Solid references. There's one where like Mia's sneaking across, like there's a imagination she's like sneaking across a place with a clearly warehouse area, and there's like a Metal Gear Solid mini map in the corner. And then later in the episode, she's in a box. She's like, "Yes, this is Mia." And then Arachnea comes in and says, "Ha! I see age hasn't made you lose your touch," or something like that. Like a direct line from.
I mean, she was also dressed as Big Boss in that scene.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, it's just odd. Because I knew about because people had posted it in the Metal Gear Solid group, but it just comes right the fuck out of nowhere.
But yeah, it's stuff like that that gives the show very much a don't take us too seriously.
Yeah.
And, okay, this is getting back to the bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what makes it slide in my brain.
Why it wasn't like as noticeable.
Yeah, where it's like this entire thing is a joke.
Yeah.
And again, I am saying 100% here. If you do not agree with that opinion and you think it's completely inexcusable, I understand, and that's 100% a valid take on this.
We're not saying that, sexual assault is okay as long as it's played for comedy. That's not what we're saying at all. We think that's incredibly wrong.
That is incredibly wrong.
Like rape is not a subject that should be joked about or played lightly. But it's the fact, I don't know. There is something about it where I think it's also the fact it doesn't really linger on it. Like, it's not used to titillate. It's not used,
Yeah, and none of the characters are like, you assaulted me as a thing. It's just like, Sue, what the shit?
Yeah, basically. It's still wrong. Like it's just not good. So
If you think about it, you know what happened, but the show doesn't address it, and
Yeah.
it plays it off as a different thing.
it's not. Yeah, it's weird. And again, we're not saying that it's okay. We fully acknowledge that it is probably the worst part of this show. So
Yeah.
But thankfully, it's not. It doesn't happen often here. I think there's only like 2 times. I think it's not like every single episode Sue's assaulting somebody or something.
Yeah.
So even though she does, do that to the main characters a lot, but not really sexually assault them. I meant like she cleans them off or whatever, or tries to get water from them. But yeah. And that's why we're having trouble talking about it too, because it's a very delicate subject, and it's a little hard to talk about without phrasing it right. Because if you phrase it
especially
wrong,
with a comedy show.
yeah, because if you phrase it wrong, then it could come across as what we're not trying to say. Like,
Yeah, where we're becoming too defensive of.
yes,
I'm trying to think.
where are we going
here
with this?
too.
Sorry.
I was just talking about the comedy, like the references and all that.
Yeah.
Just general tone. The tone is so light of the show,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice too.
Yeah, because there is a section later where it does kind of get a little more serious, and there's like an actual hostage situation, and like people are talking about like the social troubles that are going on. They're like, monsters are supposed to be like living peacefully, and these guys are supposed to be representing them, and they're doing terrible. But it's not so hard of a tonal shift that it's like whiplash. There's still enough like comedy and jokes in there that it doesn't feel like, oh, I just put in a completely different show.
I also do find funny that when we first meet Rhaenyra, we find out Darling has a leg fetish.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, we find out it is confirmed he has a leg fetish.
And I guess technically in the shorts it is confirmed he's into BDSM.
Yeah.
Because they find a porn magazine under his bed.
Yeah, and one of them is like the best positions or whatever.
Also, there's a really odd no homo scene in an episode.
Which one was that?
The one at SeaWorld where Mia gets kidnapped?
Oh, I forget who gets kidnapped.
By the lizard person.
Yeah, the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon. And that's like, wait, you're also... I think it was also a woman, and it's just oddly... It has this odd no homo moment, which is weird because the show has been pretty fine with that.
Yeah, it does kind of
Like,
come right the
with
fuck...
lesbian stuff throughout the show.
Yeah, it does kind of come right the fuck out of nowhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's only that one time, too. They never make a joke like that
Yeah.
again.
It was like, what did they like? Did like they hire a writer and that was his one joke, and then they fired him because they realized it didn't fit? Like, what happened?
Yeah, it's just a very odd moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say on that.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's one of those things that you kind of can't comment on it because of the fact that it comes right the fuck out of nowhere. It happens and it's weird.
It's like if you're watching Yuri on Ice, all of a sudden they just go, "Man, I hate the gays," and then never bring that up again.
Yeah, right?
It's like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah, hold on, Yuri, the fuck did you just say?
Do you know what show we've been watching? Like, or a less dramatic version, just Ghostbusters, and in the middle of the movie, Bill Murray goes, "Yeah, ghosts don't exist." And then continue.
And then we continue fighting ghosts as if nothing ever happened. Now my brain's thinking, like, what if it, like, brought up something, like, super existential? It's like, but I don't think ghosts are real. We've just been fighting, like, nothing this whole time, and people have been going along with it. Anyway, back to ghost fighting.
It's like the scene in Spy Kids 2.
Yeah! Yeah, man! Oh my god.
Oh my god, I love that scene so much.
It's so fucking funny because it's such a dark thought. It's like, Jesus, Steve Buscemi. Again, part of me, I know this is a completely different note, but part of me wants to like think that Steve Buscemi just completely improvised that, and then they just left it in the movie.
Like he was just high as a kite on set or something and just thought about that for a moment.
And did they decide to just leave it in because, like, oh well, I mean, I forget. Was he the villain?
No. Well, he was thought. Spoilers for Spy Kids 2.
Oh no, I know. The masterpiece.
Actually, wait. Hey, we are very serious about spoiling
Yes, we are.
on this show.
Yes, we are.
But I think he's like revealed to. He's thought to be the villain, but isn't the villain.
Yeah. The red herring.
I fucking hate that joke in 22 Jump Street so much. That's a different story.
Sorry, we're a little easily distractible tonight. Sorry.
It's getting late. That's why.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Thankfully, I'm off the next 2 days, so fuck that.
Yeah, better get the fucking episode done. God damn.
I'm so sorry.
I don't need a Lone Wolf and Cub 4 situation where it's laying released on Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
Also, go watch the Lone Wolf and Cub fourth movie coverage episode. Thanks.
Oh, you almost had it. You start out good, but then it kind of like meh.
No, it doesn't matter. It was
All
right.
All right. So
I
anyway,
also watch the other Lone Wolf and Cub episode, because why not?
except 3. 3 sucks.
Well, I meant 5, which also came out this month.
Yes.
You know,
Anyway,
and
Monster
you're,
Musume.
you're on the high note of listening to us, I guess.
Yes. So Monster Musume.
Monster Musume, we watched that show, and all the characters are great.
They are. And it helps too that the English dub is great as well, because with a lot of comedy animes, you know, sometimes the voice actors kind of don't get the energy and stuff for why it works. Everyone does a fantastic job in this one.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think about how it felt so natural with how they were talking. Because I've seen a few comedy anime where it's like, yeah, the joke is still there, it's red, and you know, you chuckle a bittle, thanks brain. But you chuckle a bit, but it feels like the read was wrong, or delivery should have been different compared to how the animation looked.
Didn't you say that's why like JoJo is good, because the Japanese voice actors are having such a fun time?
The Japanese voice actors do have a grand time. The dub isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but the sub, they just go all out, and it's so good.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's all very natural reads, and the way all the characters very much feel like they have their own personalities and get their own jokes helps a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if the scenes are shot slightly different depending on who's like in control of the comedy, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like if it's more of the joke is building up to be something Poppy does, I want animate in a different way than if Sue is going not Sue. Mia's going to have the punchline type deal.
I could see that.
They might do that. I wasn't looking for it.
I'd say we weren't really paying attention for that. And I think you hadn't watched this since you were in high school, right? Since your first time?
Yeah, this is my first time through it since I was in high school, which is when it was coming out, so I was watching on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back in 2015 is the last time I saw this. Wow, it's been 6 years.
Isn't that hard to believe? Like 2015 was 6 years ago.
We need to stay focused here, damn it.
We need to finish this up, dang it.
And with the comedy, again, going back to the show knowing what it is, I think that's like the most respectable thing about it.
Yeah.
Is it doesn't try to lie. It doesn't try to be like, oh no, we're actually a show about serious topics. No, we're here to make jokes and have TNA, and that's what we're gonna fucking do.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't... Yeah, because I do hate that. That is a lot of thing... That is the thing about, like, a lot of anime, like, when they're trying to have serious and cool moments, but, like, equal screen time is given to TNA or jokes or stuff like that, and it's like, I can always tell, and it's always such whiplash, because... when you watch shows like that are not well integrated, it's like, make up your goddamn mind. What are you trying to do, show? Are you going to be serious or aren't you?
And here is where I throw shade at Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but don't fully explain it and move on.
Because massive spoilers.
That show has such a bad balance of comedy. We will fucking get to it, and I will actually be very angry.
Yeah.
Anyway...
I can't wait to experience that because I've seen the original. I love the original. I can't wait to see how Brotherhood messes it up.
Don't worry, we'll rewatch the original and then we'll cover
Yeah.
Brotherhood. That's the plan.
Yup.
But we have to get through the long series wheel first.
Mhm.
So, we have time.
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be long too. Anyway.
What else do we still need to talk about?
Don't know.
Because like we said, we already went over why the show itself was fine. Like we said, English voice cast does an amazing job. We've met Molly; she is great. And honestly, the music in the show is really good too.
Oh, the intro and outro are badass.
Oh yeah,
Like great.
they are fantastic. Yeah, the intro is super hyperactive, super like beautifully animated. Has a nice Dragon Ball Z reference at the end.
And the outro is needlessly badass and should be part of some action anime,
Yeah.
but is here for something.
It's bitchin'. The first time I heard this, I'm like, what is this? This is actually awesome. That's kind of funny because that is like kind of Smith's theme for the Monster Squad. So there is one episode where they play that as the intro instead of the Monster Musume one, and then that focuses on their squad or whatever.
Yeah, and then the Monster Musume intro is the
Yeah,
which is fun.
that's fine. I like that.
Also, the animation, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps up good speed with the comedy, and like we said, can change art styles, and it doesn't actually feel jarring. It flows well and more adds to the punch of the joke rather than being surprising.
I think it's because they don't change it up a lot. Like, there's no like drastic changes in animation. It's just slight changes here and there.
Yeah, like in the OVA when okay, I actually forgot in the last episode of the OVA credits, there's a tiny episode that's just pure TNA of all the monster girls trying to put on bras and fishnets.
It's literally just fan service for a solid 5 minutes.
But Mia keeps getting angry, and instead of having animated fire, it's like real fire behind her, which is just funny to see.
Yeah, I was like, why does that fire look so detailed, and why is it so good?
But yeah, the show honestly just worked. It's a fun short comedy anime.
Exactly. Yeah, it's great. And it's like it knows what it is. It's a harem anime, and it rolls with it. And it uses that to its advantage to make jokes and comedy. Love it. It's like,
Oh, and my favorite jokes are always with Poppy and Sue. Like
yeah.
they're worried about Sue when she's first there because slimes aren't supposed to be over yet, and it's broken into the house and is trying to get water. And Poppy really wants someone to play Wii Sports with. As the main group is talking, you see Poppy in the background going back and forth playing Wii Tennis, and then Sue just joins in, and you see them going back and
yeah.
Cute.
Or the one from the OVA where they're playing with Lala's head.
oh yeah, they're basically just tossing it back and forth.
Yeah, so good. Because they're like, the Sue and Poppy are the two, like, innocent ones.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are very childlike, very, like, you know... and it is mentioned multiple times how Poppy's a quote-unquote bird brain, because, you know, she's just a bird.
She's a harpy. It's comedy.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, those are my probably favorite jokes. It's just them being adorable, or
Yeah.
Sue in the bucket. And, like,
oh my god, that was great.
It was actually the final part with the fishnets of or not fishnets. What are they called? Stockings.
Stockings, I guess.
Yes. But Rhaenyra puts on the stockings, and then everyone else wants to try them on, but is kind of fucking them up. Poppy tears through him, and then you see Sue in her bucket with a stocking on the bottom of it.
Or when Rhaenyra's tying people up, and she literally just tied around Sue's bucket.
Yeah, because when Sue's not in her human-looking form, she's just a blob and a bucket with two big eyes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of her default form, because she isn't her human form a lot, but yeah, just kind of a blob is her default thing with the little Pikmin thing off her head or whatever. I don't even know what to call that.
Tentacle.
Tentacle, I guess, just the single tentacle, hair, whatever.
Sadly, we didn't get a line from the manga where they go to a spa, and the woman at the spa looks at her and goes like, "Are you good to go in the water? Are you water? Sue is water, but Sue will be good."
Yeah, it's like Sue is water, Sue will behave, or something like that. It's great.
I think it is Sue will be good.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Great.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
I had to go with the weakest character. I'd say Marrow, but that's not by much.
Yeah, honestly, all of them are pretty enjoyable in their own right. So.
But yeah, that's about all of it.
Yeah, if you want a really hyperactive comedy, anime comedy, has a lot of sex puns. Check it out. Just be warned, there's a lot of sex. A lot of
A
tits.
lot of sex jokes and
Yep.
innuendos and that, and just perv shots.
Yeah. If you ever seen Dragon Maiden, this is just, a way more heavily sexualized version of that, basically.
Yeah, that's usually the way I pitch it to people.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are at the end of the year.
Yep.
We don't have a wheel spin because we're just going to go back to Fringe season 4.
Yes, I was going to say short series is between long series. So.
Yeah, you're finally getting it.
Shut up! Shut up!
It only took, what year are we
No,
on? of
no,
Cinema
that's
Roulette?
not it. Okay, alternating them, that's fine. I've gotten that. It's when we end the long series. That was where the confusion lied.
But we're going to be off in January, so no real episodes there. I might release a bonus episode talking about some really good and bad movies that I watched this year. That'll just be a bonus thing. I don't even know if Cameron will be there for it.
Yeah,
We'll
I was going to
see.
say it might be a Justin Solo thing. So,
It'll just be a bonus episode.
Yeah.
I won't even put 151 on there. It'll just
Yeah.
be bonus.
I say we should probably think of a clever name for it just because we have clever names for all the other ones that aren't the main
No,
series.
fuck you.
Oh,
Bonus.
yeah. I'm just saying.
Fine, it's called content.
Perfect.
So I can put the Bo Burnham song in there. Let's go.
Saw that one coming from a mile away.
And copyright strike.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Shit.
I don't really want to go over like a remembrance thing of what we did through this year because we probably did that last episode
Yeah.
since that was the anniversary episode.
Yep.
I don't know how to end it. Like, we don't have a wheel spin.
Yeah, so I guess it's just kind of goodbye, I guess.
Bye for now. See you in February.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in February.
In February when we're watching... the first Friday of February will be Die Hard 2, and then we'll be back with Fringe Season 5. I don't know what happens besides not 5, Season 4.
Yeah.
And then Season 4 Part 2. TV-wise, then we still... we're going to finish the short series wheel next year.
Yep, because we only have 2 series now. Monster Musume was one of them, but now
Constantine.
we only have Constantine and Flash.
And Flash Forward.
Yep, that's it. Then that's the end of that wheel.
And then we'll have a new short series wheel. Yep, okay, bye.